Thanks for joining our program this afternoon. My name is Nseabasi Valentine, and this is the Right Path on the Bridge TV show. I'd like to introduce to you the students I have that's making up the audience in today's program, and that is students drawn from Modern Training Institute of Accra Road, Uyo, and they are right here in the house. Students, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, madam.
Are you happy to be here?
Yes, ma'am.
So why not put your hands together for yourself? Thank you very much. That thunderous clap came from students drawn from Modern Training Institute's Accra Road here in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. And serving as our resource person today is the chairman, Akwa Ibom State's chapter of Nigeria Computer Society, the person of Mr. Bassey Esang. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. What would you say to our students?
Wonderfully, I've seen them beautifully dressed.
Oh,
Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so today we'll be talking about the ICT world, information, communications, and technology parts of all the things that we do in the world today. So he will give us the in-depth knowledge of how to make a career out of that. So are you ready to do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll move straight into the classroom. Let's get to hear what, let's begin first by thanking you for finding time to partner with us. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
How has your day been, sir?
Well, we thank God. God has been guiding us.
Okay, you're welcome on the right path. We want to begin like this. You're a professional in the ICT world, so please give us a basic knowledge that surrounds the ICT.
Okay, thank you. When we talk about ICT, or best described as IT, we wouldn't have talked about that without thinking of the advent of computer, when computer came into existence. And because computer came into existence, we now see that the essence of computer has been to help manipulate data that we gather for one purpose or the other. And also, some people will have need to share that data or information that must have been processed from one place to the other, calling for the need to link one place to the other. And then you also will have the facilities that will help you in the management of the data and in the linking of the various positions, whether from here to Lagos or from here to Canada or whatsoever, using the different technologies which are being having computer as the base. When you bring all this together, the knowledge, the skill, the support that the equipment give, and the management of the computer hardware and the softwares, then you will be embodying what we call information technology.
Okay, let's begin like this. What is ICT?
Yeah, ICT actually is a terminology that describes the management, the support, and the production of information with the facilities like computer, microwave, and the related facilities.
Thank you very much. How relevant is the ICT in today's world?
Yeah, the relevance of ICT in today's world is not something that we can overemphasize, because today we have seen that one slogan that has come to stay. We have people talking about that the world has become a global village. And how is that possible? It means what people used to travel from here to US or to one place or the other, before you can do it, before you can get the fact or the information, can possibly be done within a particular place that you are sitting down. With the help of the computer network, the network of networks that has translated into what you call internet, when you talk about network of networks. And that one has broken different barriers that would have stood as something that would not allow you to quickly get what you are looking for. And bringing this into essence, you can now see today in the bank, in the airlines, in the hotel reservation, in the medical, you can now see people using ICT or IT facilities like the computer, like even the GSM phone that we are using. The bank is no more what people will go to queue for somebody to manually go to check the balance. You can just punch one or two keys on the computer and everything is on. You can get your money without going to the bank, transfer from one place to the other through the internet. You can see people sending mails, not going to NIPO to send a letter, maybe 2 or 3 days. People are sending mails and then getting reply People are now chatting online.
Sure.
You also
I'm
see
sure
all
that
these
can
things
go on and on.
over
and
and
on.
over. So
Okay.
when you look at all these things, you will not stress to the importance of
Sure.
ICT in society.
Okay, we intend to make you lead us into how to make a career out of the ICT world. Okay, now let's begin like this.
Okay.
Upon all the careers in the world, the medical profession, the law profession, journalism, and so many other professions, why did you choose to be a professional in the ICT world?
Yeah, the choice, first of all, people have different likings and maybe sometimes the interest for one thing or the other. When actually I had to get my interest into ICT, I saw it coming as a cause that is making way in other places. And I see, okay, since it is not rampant, let me see if I can make a name. That was the first thing that took me into the computer. I never, as at that, I never knew it's going to be something that everybody in the world would not be able to do without it. So I now went, I just wanted, okay, where few people are going now, let me also go into that. But going into it, I now discovered that it is a part that, whether you like it or not, whether in the church or whatsoever, you have to make use of it. So I now settled down and then tried to explore the different areas. That is what brought me into it. But for me to be able to do that, I had a flair for science. I had a flair for science, and that not because I came from a science school background, but I had interest for science, and I could make subject in that area. Of course, that is the first thing that put me on the platform, because computer or IT is a core science and technological area, and so it will need a core science like the math, the physics, the chemistry, things like that, while English is a general subject. So that is how I prepared myself, because I was in that area, I could comfortably fit into what my interest took me to.
Thank you. When you informed your parents or caregivers about your choice of career, okay, how did they react to that? Were they supportive or not?
Very, very supportive. I know quite well. When I mentioned my parents, they fell in love with medicine.
Okay.
And they thought maybe I'm going to do medicine. And so the only thing was, my son, I thought you were going into medicine, you are good in science. And I said, no, I have a new area which I want to explore. There's one thing that my parents respect. When my father was alive, he would say, if that is what you feel you can do, it's better, go for it.
Okay.
He will always, so that encouragement made me went for the computer science.
I must say you were very lucky and fortunate to have parents that supported your choice of careers, but that is not the same in every sense. So we'd like you to give an advice to parents out there and caregivers who impose careers on their world. What would you say to them? And also, what would you say to the students who find themselves in the situation of having to choose between who they would want to be and who their parents is asking them to be?
Okay, I first of all will start with the parents. What the parents should expect is even from the kindergarten, you can try to identify the area your child is good. Not only knowing that the child is good there, if you identify that he or she is good in math, in social studies, you try to encourage, while you're encouraging him or her to also explore the other areas, but you try to let him or her focus in that area to make something out of it. And then you equally follow when he gets into the secondary school. Look at the trend, build up the areas, and then where the weaknesses are, you can equally support. You can get teachers that will make that right. Now, by the time it comes to when the child will choose whether vocational, whether science or this, you must have studied your child. Of course, creativity, what they do in the house, the interest, study the interest that they pick. And from there, you will know where that child is going to. Forget about whether the son of Mr. A or daughter of Mr. B is a lawyer or is a medical practitioner or this. It is what your child can do that you have to encourage that person. There is no profession in the world today, if you are so much ready into it and you develop yourself, that you will not make a living out of it. And so when the child comes saying, Daddy, this is where I'm going to, first of all, you can pray with that child about that for you to help him or her make a choice. And that prayer, God will give you the ability to understand what the child understands. For the child to equally understand what, even if the child has A in all the subjects, You can choose whether he is good in science or whether he is good in the commercial area, and then let him, when he says, oh, I'm going to be an engineer, I'm going to be a lawyer, you look at that interest supported by what he or she has, and then encourage him to go into that area. Now the student will have to understand from their study in the school, they have different areas of interest. For example, when I was in the science college, they asked me, I ran away from economics to go and do further mathematics. Because to me, when I come back, see notes, they will note, and they will pile up before you come 80 leaves, 60 leaves of notes to be copied. I was so much, I was not interested in reading so many things. And now said, instead of me failing economics, which people would think is cheap, let me go and fail further mathematics. But I went there and I was very good in that, because to me, immediately 1 + 1 is equal to 2. When the answer comes out, I will be comfortable. For the student, that is what is expected of all of us. Whatsoever, even if you become an artist, you make a living out of it. I've seen a parent that forced a child to go and do medical science. He went in there, did everything, finished, but that was not his interest. He passed the course very well, brought the certificate, handed over the degree to the father. He wanted to read theater art and said, since you wanted medical science, this is the degree. So let me go for my theater art. And he made millions out of that theater art that he read.
And I'm sure he was happy in that too.
Very, very much.
Okay.
Very, very much.
Thank you very much. Now let's see the journey of becoming a professional in the information and communication world. Let's start from, okay, it's a core science subject you have said. In the university, what's the best thing to study?
Yeah, in the university, depending on how the different universities arrange their program. Okay, for some, you will go in some universities to see the computer science in Faculty of Sciences.
Okay.
And when you go there, they will have the courses that is expected of you from the YA. You must have English, you must have math, you must have physics, chemistry, and then the full course may be biology or even economics. Provided you have physics, chemistry, maths, English, then you can play with the other one in some universities. Some you will have it as management information technology. Some will call it information and communication technology. Those are the different ways that you can have the courses there.
Okay.
Now, in the technical area, you can have it as computer engineering, is other engineering, but the core thing that makes it is information technology, apart from the engineering aspect of it. And some can fall under that particular area. Some can call it information sciences. In some universities, that are how you get it. We have it more or less in Nigeria, computer sciences and information technology. For example, you go to Federal University of Technology, you will get it as information technology. Okay. So, but in the Western world, you can have information science, you can have management information system, still bother around IT. So what I'm trying to say is that it depends on the university and how they structure their own. But whatsoever the case, the core courses remain. That the most physics, maths, chemistry, English, before you now play. If some universities can even add geography or government or economics, then those core one there.
Okay.
Now, that is what you have. When
How
you
many years are you supposed to study at the university?
Yeah, in the university, you have some universities doing 5 years, some will do 4 years.
Okay.
Those who will do 4 years, when they arrange their program, there is a core program that must be there. That is industrial training. It's expected that that must be up to 9 months.
Okay.
So in some universities, they will make it to be at a stretch, and that becomes a particular session. That is what makes it 5 years. For example, University of New York does that. In some universities like University of Nsuka, they will break the IT into the semesters. After year 1, you will go for IT. After year 2, you will go for IT. After year 3, that is how they break it, and that is what makes them do it 4 years. All still have the same curriculum that they have to cover.
Okay, I'm sure there are other ways that people become computer professionals. Like there's some bodies like IMFI, who is also a chartered, okay, what do you call that? Chartered by Computer Professional Registration of Nigeria, right? Okay, now, what programs are available there? I'm sure there are those ones that go for 3 months, there are the ones for 6 months and even 1 year. Are those people also qualified to be called professionals?
Yeah, you asked well. When we talk about professionalism, it does not mean because you go to the university and you have a degree that you can now say, I am a professional. You must be certified by the body regulating the practice that can say this one can be tested and is confirmed to be somebody that could represent the profession anywhere. And that is why some other professions. But before I come to that, there's what we call proficiency. Somebody say, I want to have the knowledge of how to operate computer. I have some, everyone now, whether you're a pastor or whatsoever, you must have the capability to handle your laptop, your iPad in processing document or maybe one data or the other. And so for you to be able to create your document, you must use Microsoft Word. You don't need to go to university for 4 years, for 5 years. You must be able to use Microsoft Excel to organize your data and to do some addition. You don't need to go to university. So that one will be the proficiency we're talking about. And some institutions are organizing that, a 3-month program, 1-year program, 6-month program, to be able to produce these people, train them in these different areas. When you look at the curriculum will not be what you can say, I give somebody ordinary diploma. That must be done. Then it must be up to 2 years where the polytechnic are doing the OND. So these schools are now bridging the gap to bring those who are not in the field, that discipline, at least to be up to date in that particular area. But then on the other side, by the time you come out as a graduate of computer science, a graduate of information technology, management information system, or whatsoever it may be called, you are expected to register with a professional body. A professional body that regulates the practice. One that promotes, that is the mother body, Nigerian Computer Society, that promotes the practice of IT. And then for you to now be sanctioned now in the federal government, before you have a job, you must, in due process, you must have an IT expert. And that will be somebody chartered by the Computer Professional Registration Council of Nigeria. Those are the one, that is the one that will say this person has been licensed. For example, I have my seal, which any document, if I place the seal, anybody can see. Now, apart from saying that you go to the university, you must have finished, you must have been an accountant, you must have finished as a chemist, you must have been a medical doctor, but you have interest in a particular area. You have interest in a particular area, and then you can go to develop yourself in some professional courses, like what we call Cisco, like Microsoft certification. Those are the areas you also, whether you were in the computer area or not, you can equally go into such program. And then with that interest, you will certify yourself as being able to handle a particular part of IT program.
Thank you very much. Before we call for a break and take questions from the students, I'd like you to mention the different areas of professionality in the computer sciences.
Okay, the main common area that you see will be we have what we call computer network, and you have somebody that will manage the network. We also call network administrator. For example, let me take what is closer to us. In the bank, you know all the branches will be linked together. Then somebody will be at the center point where you call the safe and the system that is managing, for example, Zenith Bank in all the nation Nigeria. You have a common place where their information is there. So the person that is there to manage will see what Abuja is doing, will see what Oka is doing, and will say, let me log this one out. That is the network administrator. He is not a control. You also have what you call the programmer or software developer. The person that will develop that program that they are using to do the banking activities is what has been developed by somebody in the field of programming, or what we call software development. Now, all of us have been entering the internet. When you go to internet just does not just come like that. People develop it, and that is when we talk about web developer, webmasters. Those who develop, somebody can say, I want to specialize in the area of website design. You design it, and then you master it. Then you also have forensic, a new area coming in, forensic, and that is security. So somebody can be a computer forensic investigator. When there is problem, they want you to come and use the computer, identify data, identify somebody either by thumb printing or the other, which they usually do during election time. Here in Nigeria, we don't have so many of such. They have to go and hire professionals outside the country to come and do that. So this is a very good area. In outside world, they pay up to $112,000, $113,000 in a month to such people. So it's a very good area. And we have other areas that you can go into, but because of time, we may not be able to mention all of them.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go for a quick break now. When we return, we'll be taking this to the limit after taking questions from our students. Thank you very much, Mr. Bassey Esang. Once again, good afternoon, students. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
Wow, your child is so intelligent.
Thank you. Oh, it's Tower of Ivory Secondary School, Edirebak, Akwa Ibom State. It's a full boarding co-educational institution located in the serene Edirebak Plains. He reads high-quality textbooks in the school library. He is exposed to different scientific experiments, and his mastery of the computer is awesome.
You mean the school taught him that too?
Oh, yes. He plays all kinds of musical instruments and loves sport. I don't worry about his health, as the school medical personnel attend to him. The school's hostels are cozy, and he eats good meals.
Wow.
His younger sister is in the nursery section with the Nigerian, British, and American curricula, where she is exposed to the best facilities and learning kits. And she shuttles to school in the school bag.
Enough, I have to call my husband.
This can also be your child's story. Good afternoon once again, and thanks for still staying on the program. It's still the Right Path on the Bridge TV show. We're back in the house, and at this point we'd like to take questions from our students on what they do not understand on the topic of the day. ICT is actually what we're looking at, information and communications technology. If you have a question, let me see your hand.
My name is Peter Moses. I'm in SS1A.
Please, shall we put our hands together for Ito?
Sir, please, what is the relevance of ICT to other courses of the university?
We'll just take the questions at once. Yes, please stand in.
My name is Vika Sisi. I'm a student in the zone. Because ICT have advantages and disadvantages.
Okay, thank you very much. With that, you will just join and tell us the risks and the challenges involved in practicing that operation.
Okay, thank you very much. The first question, whether ICT has relevance to other courses. I say yes, it has
Very
relevance.
well.
Today now, it's difficult for you to say you can do anything without IT. Now, for example, let me start from in the academy. People go to do research to look for materials. Whether you are doing religious study or not, you say, let me go to internet. Is it not so? You go to the internet to look for materials. And looking for material for what? You're not looking for materials in your computer science or information, but you're looking for religion, looking for accounting, looking for this. That is one of the major areas. For research purposes. And then you also see that the publication of this, some of the information, when you go, you now see that in accounting or medical practitioners, practitioners, they have websites that coordinate information for all the professionals in Nigeria. You don't need to go to Nigerian Medical Association office, whether in Abuja or Lagos, before you go to get the information. They are going to place it on the website. But you know it's not a core course in medical science. But because IT is there, they make good use of it. So they can have the database. Instead of somebody saying, let me go there and open the books, they have the database. In engineering, the same thing. In other areas, you have. Now you come to even the church. You will say, what relevant is IT to the church? Those read religious. Say, pastors, when they preach now, before they even finish preaching, you see the message on YouTube. Is it not so? You see it, things like that. But what is religion? What has religion got to do with IT? So everyone is in it. The pastor will go to buy and will use the card. The engineer will go to buy and will use the card. And that is what we're trying to implement. You use ATM, and that is what you do. So in the university, it is meant to be a compulsory course. Compulsory. While you may not make accounting to be compulsory, for all the courses, computer is done as general studies. Because it's expected that all those passing through the university must have a fair knowledge of IT so that you can live the life. Now, on the other area, there are so many advantages. I've mentioned some. Talk about the banking. In the past 10 years, when banks were not computerized, people will go and submit their check or withdrawal booklet and go back to the office. By 3 o'clock, they come back. But now if you just go in there, immediately get your number, they will be able to get information. Oh, you have 200,000 remaining on this, and they can pay you. Not the queue. If the queue is there, is maybe some or two weaknesses of the bank being inability to balance up the point so that people could move away.
It
and you
saves
have
time a lot
yes,
and makes it less cumbersome to
good,
carry out
good,
transactions.
good. You stay here and then you want to go to Abuja. You want to book a flight. You don't need to go to buy. If you have your credit card, then you can just buy the card, the ticket online. You can book hotel in Abuja, book hotel, pay the money
I'm
before
sure
you
we
arrive
can
there.
go on. Okay, now facing these challenges, what are the ways that you cope with? How do you deal with it? Let's start from the radiations from the screen into the eyes. How do you handle such situations?
The first way we handle is a typical place and organization that knows that this happens. We have what is called screen filter.
Okay.
They have screen filter that we put there so that they will not allow you to have direct contact with the screen. Yes. Now, two, you will see there is a particular kind of glasses that you can put on while you are doing such job. You know, it may be costly, but some organizations may not care about that unless they value the health of the workers before they bring something like that in. And that is what you will see in that particular area. I think that's what we were asking.
Is there any way you can censor
No,
the
okay.
things that are sent on the
that you
internet?
have that. On the internet, we have the cyber law.
Okay.
Cyber law, and it is what Nigeria, the National Assembly, has passed to check these different criminal act and activity that is going on. And so you have that being monitored. Some of the acts, those who are victims, EFCC have prosecuted them. You've heard of the so-called Yahoo, the Yahoo, those who try to hack system, defraud people on the system. Many of them have been caught, and they are being prosecuted by this particular law that has been passed by the National Assembly. Even though we are yet to implement it to the fullest, because we have the law, but the implementing mechanism. And so also we have the provisional body, the Nigerian Computer Society, and the Computer Provisional Restitution Council of Nigeria, also playing their part to discipline professionals who have gone into these acts which are not expected to be part of their own lifestyle. And so that is some of the ways that we're trying to cope this.
Okay, we are going to take this to the limits, but before then I am going to ask the students who is interested in joining your profession, the Information Technology Management. So is there anyone here who would want to be a computer professional? I've seen 1, 2, okay. You have 2 persons. Shall we put our hands together for them?
Yeah, I will just briefly say you may not know it now.
Of course.
As you come, that is when you know that I have some of my friends, one who read brain science. Today, he has a computer firm that he does training and make repairs. So as you grow up, you now see that situation will make you go into IT.
Actually, it is that duty is that of the bridge. We keep exposing these careers for them to see. Though they may not make the decision here, they will actually do in time. Thank you very much for coming on the program and for joining us to do this.
Thank you very much.
A beautiful day to you, sir. And students, what do you say to sir?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I wish you success.
Thank you. Okay, and this is where we're going to draw the curtains on today's edition of the program, The Right Path on the Bridge TV show. My name is Nseabasi Valentine. Special thanks to all the good hands that made it a success. Daniel was here, Joseph James was here, and students of Modern Training Institute made our audience. Would you please put your hands together for yourselves? Special thanks will also go to the management and staff of this school, Modern Training Institute, and our very own sponsors, Villa Marina Hotel. Shall we put our hands together for them? And the computer analyst in the house, Mr. Bassey Esang. Thank you very much for coming on the program. God bless you. Join us do this another day. Comes away every Saturday on this very station. 3 to 4 p.m. is the time. The Right Path will return next weekend. Thanks for watching us and have a pleasant weekend. Bye-bye now.